Hello, my name is Dante Renee and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film. The copyright on the back is 1973, but if you look it up on the internet it says 1980. Nonetheless, this is the big box and I believe, I don't know if it's on DVD, but this is the big box VHS Caballero home video release of Sweet Dreams Susan. Sweet Dreams Susan, right here. And this stars Rhonda Jo Petty and Dorothy LeMay. You'll toss and turn all night. Sweet Dreams Susan. This is the big box right here. And a beautiful big box, great condition. Bought this off of adult eBay. And we're going to look at this film here. It says a full-length feature film on videocassette rated X. So let's get into this film here. Rhonda Jo Petty, Dorothy LeMay. If you love Rhonda Jo Petty, you're going to love her in Sweet Dreams Susan. It's one of my favorite roles with her, actually. Now, I have some notes written above me here, so you might see my eyes divert. And this is such a fascinating film. I really have to tell you, it's such a unique X-rated film, adult film, but it's such a unique film in general. And I'm so excited to talk about it because it's really something special. And I've never really heard about it or heard anything about it. Now look, by the way, well, I'll get into that in a second here. So the opening title sequence of this film is composed of freeze frames from the upcoming film you're about to watch. Now, sometimes certain films do that, and certain X-rated films do that. I believe Carlos Tobalina sometimes did that, where you would see kind of what was about to happen, some of the money shots, so to speak. In this particular one, it's freeze-framed, very artistically done. And the theme song is very moody, 70s, otherworldly, and it really hits the core. It's the best way for me to describe it. And I'm going to keep coming back to the sound designs for this film because it really, really hits the core. For a story about dreams and for a title that includes the word dreams, I have to tell you that this might be the most dream-feeling film I've seen. A woman talking to her therapist over the phone about her dreams. We see each dream in an anthology format, making this an anthology sex film. The wraparound story for the film has a completely different tone than the dreams themselves, than the anthology stories themselves, which makes for a unique tonal experience throughout the life of this film. Now, the life of this film is 78 minutes, but it's a beautiful 78 minutes. Doesn't feel too short, doesn't feel too long. It feels just right. The music is most definitely an actor in this film. The music is dreams. It's the best way for me to describe it. Synth, glockenspiel sounding with rhythms and textures that are dreams. The music is transcendent. It's interesting, it's bizarre, it's supernatural, it's spatial, it's interplanetary, it's sex, it's dark, it's light, and it's mysterious, and it makes you feel really weird. The narration of each dream by the dreamer, with the music and seeing the dreamer inside of her own dreams is fascinating. And it adds a whole other element to the already dream-ridden auditory experience. Truly an audio experience unlike anything I've heard, which brings a true atmosphere to this film. No doubt. No doubt. Rhonda Jo Petty in this film is amazing. She's actually thicker here too. If you liked her, her thighs look great in this movie. Look at that. The bicycle seat looks like it's bumping right into her butt there. She looks great in here. She's very introspective in here. She's afraid. She's exploratory. She's inhibited and exhibited, free. She's journeying through shame and dreams and the subconscious and truth and reality and honesty. There's a play in the film with seeming teases with Rhonda's clothing on or off, almost blue-balling it for the viewer. When will she take her clothing off? This is weird she's not taking her clothing off, and kind of she's the lead actress in this sex film. She even plays a double role at one point. Yes, indeed. Lindsay Lohan wasn't the only one to do that, and I Know Who Killed Me, a movie I love. But yes, Rana Joe Petty did it here in Sweet Dreams, Susan. Dorothy LeMay provides the tonal shifts in the film. There's comedy in here. It's surreal, it's psychological, of course sexual, dramatic, and serious, and dark, and light. There's an isolated stage show in here. There are masks. There's very edgy themes of incest, family openness, lesbian family exploration, an isolated outdoor pool scene, which was so interestingly surreal and just interesting. Pedophilia, Girl Scouts, if you have a Girl Scout type fetish, obviously not with actual underage girls, but, you know, wearing, you know, Girl Scout outfits for of age girls. You're going to love a scene in this film. Virginity, piano lessons, group sex and orgy sequences, and remember, it's all being narrated by our lead, who's taking us and her psychologist through her dreams, which makes such a unique experience. Again, now we have also, adding to the music, hand percussion, exotic jams, experimental and improvisational. We have a point of view gang rape from the woman's point of view, the bunch of men, that really comes out of nowhere and really adds a bit of stark violence to this film, a sucker punch of stark violence. We have some very interesting themes in here that I want to mention. Dreams and reality. What you do in your dreams, would you necessarily do it in your reality? Do you want to do it in your reality? Do you have the courage to do it in your reality? Do you just need fantasy, or do you need the fantasy to become real? Or do you just need the fantasy just to get through reality? Or do you also want to make that fantasy reality? Is reality helped by fantasy and dreams? Namely, are fantasy and dreams, are they healthy? Are they explorations of our subconscious and our mind, and healthy to know more about ourselves and the world around us, no matter how weird or bizarre they are? And are they enough in and of themselves without actually having to live them out, possibly dangerously? You know, this whole channel is devoted to fantasy and dreams, the fantasy and dreams of art, of cinema, of soundtrack. What's the difference between dreams and awake fantasy? You know, I was using those words interchangeably, but what's the difference between dreams and fantasy? And what do each reflect? Do they reflect you, me? There's violence, as I mentioned in this film, and also the question of enjoyment of the violence, enjoyment of the rape. Dorothy LeMay's sex scene in here it's just amazing. If you love Dorothy LeMay like I do, you're going to love her sex scene in here, and kind of the porny playfulness before her sex scene as well. There's some great angles underneath of Dorothy LeMay in her sex scene where her boobs are hanging down and you're kind of underneath of her and she's kind of looking at the camera, I believe. Some very interesting edits in the film too, kind of jarring and showing you two things happening at the same time and taking you out of one area and bringing you into another very rapidly in a way, or not rapidly, just in a jarring type of fashion. And I thought it was just artistic and awesome. We have S&M in the film. We have lots of, if you love butts, you're gonna love this film as well. Lots of butts to mouth. No complicated sex angles per se, but some really cool ones. But it's simple, effective, it's hot, it's horny. You know, Sweet Dreams Susan is just Rana Joe Petty, very sexually attractive. Dorothy LeMay, very sexually attractive. Actually, you know, I thought all the women in here, all of the dreams and sexual situations, you know, were just, this was a, you know, obviously there were some disturbing elements as well near the end of the film. I don't want to mention too much, where things get really, really dark. But I could see some fetishes in there as well. But really hot sex film here, and a very interesting one at that. Maybe seriously unique. I've never seen anything like it before. So this is Sweet Dreams Susan, beautiful big box. Look at how wonderful Rana Joe Petty looks here. And she gets top billing. And she looks great. Wow. And this Caballero home video, and I don't know if it's ever going to get a Blu-ray release or anything else like that from Vinegar Syndrome. You never know. You never know who's working with what here. But thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Sweet Dreams Susan. Does this sound interesting to you? I loved it. If you want to see some of my own personal films, do youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. That's Poopy. Thank you so much, and good night.